Have somebody starting the show with us, which is super special, and making our lives a lot easier.
Like every good home stream, it's a cacophony of wires.
Right, if there was only some way of actually seeing what's going on, moving around here, it would help if we were singing the theme song to Indiana Jones.
Or Benny.
An adventure theme, at least, right? Because there's something adventurous.
I was gonna say, or Benny Hill.
Don't be greedy. You can have me now, but only briefly. Now let's get freaky. Now let's get freaky. Get freaky. Let's get freaky. Freaky. Briefly. Now let's get freaky. Freaky. Get freaky. They won't let me go, say they need me, but don't be greedy, don't be greedy. You can have me now, but only briefly. Now let's get freaky, now let's get freaky, get freaky.
still got a problem, then you go home and talk to God about it. Oh, it's an inside job. Oh, it's an inside job. I'm not saved because of what you think about me, but I'm saved by grace. And it's so easy. It's a gift from God. And all I have to do is believe it. It's the inside job. You can't save me. You can't even sanctify me. I gotta sanctify myself. Thank you, Lord.
else to say. They really want to make it right. I don't wanna make you stay. I won't let you be the one who always hurts my feelings. I don't want to be with you if you keep on deceiving me with all these things you say. You know I don't believe them. Every time I let you in, you leave me bruised and bleeding. If you really love me, girl, then look into my eyes. Tell me all the things you told me that were really lies. You keep looking to the left and checking on your phone. What you think that says to me? You don't really care for me, no. My eyes are like a lie machine. I know you're trying to hide from me. Don't know why you lie to me. I wish you would confide in me. I tried. My eyes are like a lie machine. I know you're trying to hide from me. Don't know why you lie to me. Think you need to let it go.
That mic is still old school. That's okay. Yeah. Hey, Andy Reid with us here in the utility room. Absolutely awesome house music all night long. The vibe is amazing tonight, yeah? Listen, we're going to do a couple more, and then we're going to get into some stuff with some Andy. Let's hear his history, yeah? Be right back.
help me, baby. Always 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 help me, baby.
put in my life, you see, because you mean that much to me. Just about to lose my mind. Oh, yes, I am. Just about to lose my mind. Losing you, put in my life, you see, because you mean that much to me. Just about to lose my mind. Oh, yes, I am. Just about to lose my mind. Losing you. Losing you.
searching for sunshine days. I've been looking to find my way. Give me the sunshine. I've been searching for sun. Let it rain on down.
Yeah. The good times and the place to be, which is Utility Room. Always awesome sauce. Happy to have you with us again. Yeah! By my side, Andy Reid.
What's going on, brother?
Very good times. Thanks
Very
a lot.
sweaty in this small space.
You know, it's
Good.
funny that you brought that up. I was thinking to myself of all the times that I could have worn a sweater and it's cold outside.
You picked the wrong one.
It might have been the wrong instance between the house music that you were playing and the temperature inside this room, and I'm dancing around. The combination of all these things, it's like, I'm out of control.
Audio equipment is really fucking hot.
I mean, yeah, we've got some fun lights on us and stuff. Listen, it's really awesome to have you with us tonight, making the time.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here. What else are you gonna do? Stay at home.
Right. It's good. It's good that we've got Utility Room to go ahead and go ahead and expose the music, get it out there. Right. So that it's
100%.
It's being shared.
That's really what it's. I mean, if anything, the pandemic has shown us is that people still need to dance and need to hear music, even if they're doing it in the safety of their own home. Fortunately, things like the internet exist, and we can stream live and we can play stuff. It's not the same, but it's not nothing. And it's still a great way to hear some amazing stuff from amazing artists from all over the world. And I was super stoked tonight. Everything I played tonight was on my labels: Phoenix Music, Phoenix Soul, Phoenix Black. And we've just had an amazing year despite everything. It's been tough times for a lot of people. I can feel
the smile through the mask.
Through the mask. There's a big smile going on.
Which is excellent. So, which makes me think, when I think about the escalation and the rise of something, anything that's happening, whether you're a painter, if you're a bricklayer, whatever it's going to be, most people start with not much. Not everyone's got the leg up where they're injected into a situation, and all of a sudden there's a giant ascent that happens, and it's a win. Right? And I think when I think about that type of story, I definitely do think of you. Well,
you're gonna have to explain yourself.
I want to. When I think, listen, when you first started, you weren't an out there DJ. You weren't running a record label. You weren't producing tracks.
No.
So
DJ, yes.
So there was an ascent. I mean, the DJing, even still, I mean, it felt like, at least from what I recall, the website.
Yeah, that's true.
I want to go all the way back.
We're gonna go back. You're back to the beginning.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. Like when I think about people that start. You've had an instance in from what my observations are. I mean, I know you obviously, Andy.
Yeah, we've known each other like almost 20 years, like 17 years.
It's I don't know the math,
17,
but
something like that.
We're past the decade.
Yes, well past 15.
And when I think about what I've seen as far as your involvement in music, it hasn't been just okay. I'm not knocking what I was saying it, but I'm just saying, like, I'm going right into DJing. I want to rock the dance floor. I want to be out there. I want to be in people's faces. A lot of the positions that you took were actually behind the scenes.
Yeah.
But with strong sharing capability.
Yeah.
And so when you started with Nocturnal Multimedia, you guys were really just that. It wasn't just the website. You were doing a great deal of photography, a great deal of video. I'm telling the story.
You're telling the story.
You tell the story.
I'm telling the story. But yeah, I kind of got into this backwards, I guess, from a lot of people. I mean, I started DJing 1992. My best friend in high school, his cousin had turntables and had these records, and I remember getting a mixtape, a taped recording of Chris Shepherd.
This is the first bite, the first vampire bite.
A vampire bite of house music, and man, those fangs sink deep. Chris Shepherd and Deadly Headley, CFNY, 1992, a recording of a radio show on a cassette.
It was this instance on radio that was captured.
My best friend's cousin was into this and used to tape the shows every week. They were on like Sundays at like 2:00 in the morning or something like that. So here we are, young, precocious 15, 16-year-olds. And we got the tape given to us at lunch one day, and then we put it in the car on the ride home. And it was like instant mind blown, like, oh my God, what is this music? Need to know more. Oh, my cousin has some records and turntables this weekend. I'll borrow them. We'll come up and we'll DJ. And I was like, all right, sure. I had no clue what.
You've never seen anything like this before.
I'd seen like I was sort of into hip hop at the time, so I'd seen like guys scratching and like more like hip hop urban style, right? But I'd never seen anything to do with house music at all. And basically, like, we had these decks, and we had the cousin lent us a crate of records. Half was hip hop and R&B, the other half was house, and like old, like all like classics when they were new. And basically, like, as soon as I got a taste of the 4/4, it was like, see you later, hip hop, you're done. I found my great love.
Did you immediately pick up music on your own and start trying to put it together at that point because of what you saw that first time? I barely, this is a testament to this a long time ago, but
it just gripped me right away. I'd always been like, I played a lot of sports. I did performance when I was younger. My mom's a piano teacher, so I come by music naturally. My parents met singing in a choir, so like there's a very musical background in my family. So I think that combined with something that I like, the sounds and the things I loved, and I loved just the drums. It was all about the drums for me, and it was just gripped me, and I just had to immerse myself into it, listening like crazy. I mean, again, like we were trying to get tape recordings of sets on radio. Like the internet didn't exist. Like there was no, so like it spilled from there. Then we found out where the record stores were in downtown, and they were like, okay, we're gonna go down to the record store. No idea what we're doing, and it's like a whole experience of that. And like, I mean, it was really cool because you walk in, and as when you test, when you were buying vinyl back in the day, there was no like you had to cross your fingers that there were enough copies, and that you had spent enough money on a consistent basis that you could get one of those copies of the hot record that week.
So let me get into that a little bit, because it's amazing that you bring that up, because that was an instance that was very magic.
When you got that copy of that thing, the new hotness.
So how has accessibility changed all that? Because I mean, at the end of the day, you could be one of only a few people that has access to a brand new whip or an ID.
Yeah, I mean,
this is the same thing now, no?
I mean, the biggest thing now is that it's all about like being a producer now and working with and running a label. It's about playing stuff before they're available. That's the only way you can have the like new uniqueness now, right? Because as soon as it's out there, there's unlimited. It's an unlimited copy. There's one for everybody. Which honestly, like in terms of running a business and all that, like yes, it loses some of the mystique, but at the same time, it used to be so frustrating to get the 8 copies of the thing. And it's like, why? Like, you should be able to the whole thing in here is about expressing the artist's music to other people. And it like thwarts them in a way, because it's limiting their exposure and limiting people's ability to hear their art, the artist's art, right? So there's still a thing about playing new and unreleased stuff or new stuff, but it's also like, I think the biggest thing about DJing then and now is, and in some ways back then too, was crate digging, was finding the things that other people looked over. It's easy to go on and buy the top 10 songs on Tracksource. You know they're all good. They're all going to be awesome. They're all going to go over well. But find stuff that isn't on the chart or is like not as popular, or some weird label out of here or there, or some artist that has like 30 followers on Instagram, but they may have made this amazing record. And so that still exists, and that can still be done. And that should be celebrated. And that's still where your talent as a DJ comes in.
Let me fast forward a little bit. It's funny that you bring up the follower count and numbers as far as social media. Is that something that you look for when you're running a label? Are you looking at the follower count? Is it part of the equation?
I not look at it. Let's say it that way. But I don't base my decisions on it. So jumping gears. So as
well, like I said, it's like a Chris Nolan
like
movie. That's how my interviews go, like, right? Forward, back,
I'm
and
gonna
the
wake up in
conclusion
a solid dream.
Right. It's
like
no tokens.
IV things in my arm. No, it's in running a label. Like for me personally, like what we do with Phoenix, it's music first. So what I always say is your track is awesome or not awesome. It fucking bumps or it doesn't. And if it doesn't matter. You could have 20 million followers and be the hottest shit going on Instagram, but I don't care. The track's got to be good. And then past that, yeah, it does come into play. I'd be lying if I said it wasn't a consideration or a concern. I think it helps more when the record is sort of more, not borderline, but like good, not great. I think the thing is you might give, even subconsciously, you might give good things a chance and not hold out for great things because someone has influence or is a good name, it's a good look, it's good marketing, brand opportunity. But at the end of the day, and I think if you listen to our catalog on the labels, on the 3 labels, I stand behind every single track we put out.
Why did you split up the labels? Why not just Phoenix?
Well, one thing is I could only release 1 track a week, for starters. So,
why is that? Is that a rule of some kind?
It's sort of like an unwritten rule. You don't want to cannibalize your own artist on your own brand. Right. I don't think that's fair. And we're an indie label, and in electronic music, as you well know, the label carries weight. It's not like we're Sony where it's a faceless label, where the label really is irrelevant. Like, right? But they all know The Weeknd. Because he's releasing on a label that's releasing 6,000 artists every week or whatever the crazy number is. And because it doesn't work like that. But in our community, and you see this with all the big brands, the labels are like an artist. So like when I'm speaking to people at Spotify about like what we need for electronic music and how it's different, I said, what you need to understand is the label is an artist. Think of the label as an artist, and then you'll get it. Because, and you can attest to this, back in the day, some of the big brands like Strictly Rhythm or Subliminal, like when the new Strictly track came out, the artist didn't even matter. You're just like, oh, it's the new Strictly Rhythm track in the buy pile. Done. You didn't even guess. Because the brand had a sound and an identity that if you loved that, you knew it was going to be up to that quality.
I got to jump in. The truth of this is that I would dig on those Strictly releases because they'd have dub drum like edits.
They'd have an instrumental.
That's right, and the instrumental
or
was,
an acapella
was
even,
if pitched
or a
the
dub.
right way,
Yeah,
could be sick bridge shit. You know,
but that's because they knew, and you knew that if you were,
only because I knew that. That's right. If otherwise,
but you knew, right?
Otherwise, you're right. The label would be associated with the sound.
Yeah. Then there's a vibe, right? Like if you were into that kind of, you knew like every release was going to be in that wheelhouse, pretty much.
Right.
You know, and things do change over time. Look, I'm making big generalities, but there was a time. Where you didn't even think about it. Like when Subliminal started, you just instant buy. Like the first 10 releases are all like fucking.
So then let me ask
anthems.
you something. Do you feel that accessibility has changed the magic moment that is happening between that from artist to user? You know, like is that transference changed? Is the magic still hot when all of a sudden your inbox blows up? And it's not for release. It's maybe even it could be a bootleg of a new Kanye track, for example. But it's a brand new whip.
The magic is still there. I mean, come on. Like, you get something fresh that's just banging and hits all those buttons. I mean, the feeling is the same. I do think the thing is the market is so oversaturated now that it's hard to find those gems because the barrier to entry being so low just allows, like, you don't even need a label anymore, right? You could go on one of these like CD or site TuneCore.
It's interesting that you brought that up.
And you're right out in the playing field with everybody else.
So then why do
right?
the label if the accessibility has changed that way for the delivery?
I'll tell you. Well, I still think there's value in it, and I think the biggest value in it is, like I said, in our world, there's a value to it. I think you'll see it start to diminish, and you've already seen it start to diminish in like hip hop and pop, where a lot of people are going self routes because the labels are faceless. Again, in our community, the label isn't faceless. The label is a brand. There is an association, and it's a way still for people who have less reach to get exposure to more people, right? Like, when you're at the top of the totem pole, you already have the fan base, you have the reach, you're the one driving the ship. But when you're coming up,
I'm still here. I'm just hitting some.
No, it's
I'm
okay.
I'm hitting some nicotine. The mic cord's long enough.
When you're,
I'm off camera. You're back. You're solo. You're running the show.
When you're coming up, that's still really hard, and it's really hard to make penetration when everyone's releasing the quantity that they're releasing. So having a connection with a brand that is identifiable, has consistency, has a great foothold in the industry, and has presence, it can allow people who don't have the reach yet.
Then what would you say? Hold on.
To get that reach.
What is the difference between a label and a playlist?
That's a good question.
Thank you.
That's a really good question. Because I mean, playlists now sort of like you could say playlist curation sort of can do that, but I think there's more to it too because like playlists aren't. You don't have like lifestyle playlists, although that might happen. Maybe we just did the million.
I cross some
right
really
there.
funky playlists. You know what I mean? Where I've just been like the title and it is what it is. Like there's some stuff where it's discouraging. Where I'll reach a playlist like on Spotify. I can't remember. And it's supposed to be like bangers or something, and I'll get there and it's like slow jams.
Yeah.
I don't understand how a banger is considered to be a
Well,
slow jam is not a banger.
I think it's a different type.
Unless,
of
banging, then
It's a
sure,
different
then
type of
sure,
banging.
okay, I'm with it.
maybe
But
maybe the kids have changed it. I don't know.
I mean, I feel like I would have had my finger on that pulse.
On
I'm
the-
really confused by
dialed
it.
in.
Listen, this is a thing that happens with me with promos as well, where I get messaged something, and you know what? I'm frustrated by these 3 or 4 long blurbs about the release and the artist. Like, tell me what it is, tell me what the genre is, tell me it's a new artist, you love working with him, and let me move on to the music. And if I want to dig more, I'll click the links.
Fair enough. Like when we send our stuff out, we try to keep it 2-3 sentences maximum.
But I'm saying this because I'm getting descriptions being brand new banger, and I'll be like, oh shit, here we fucking go.
I mean,
and I press play, and it's just like slow BPM,
I think
chill out, funky bass line with
bangers
some
are
mediocre
always
drums.
bangers are always subjective. I mean, all that stuff is subjective.
Listen, if someone came up to you out totally out of nowhere and came running up to you and went, "It's a fucking banger," you wouldn't think to yourself,
But
"It's R. Kelly."
I'll
or,
tell you
like,
right.
that's a bad
right
example.
now,
But
my interpretation of a banger is probably different than your interpretation of a banger.
I don't know. Is it though?
Yeah, it probably is. It probably is. It probably is. A little bit. Not too far, but a little bit. Anyways.
So
But-
hold on. I want to actually.
You're saying like why labels? Okay, look.
Yeah.
Biggest thing is it's like the collection has more power than the individual. And the reason I said that, and I've seen it firsthand, and I've had several of my artists, even especially some of the new guys that we've signed, say, "Oh my God, I've met so many people I admire and respect, and I started working with them, all because I released on Phoenix, and that gave me a connection to be like, hey, I've also released. We're also part of this family of house music artists." And it's a way to get credibility. It's a way to be part of a group that you feel like-minded spirits, and you feel like you're like, we've always tried to have a sense of that, and like we try to make an effort to guys we sign. We don't just support their stuff on our label. We also support their stuff on other labels that are also friends or people we respect, and that mutual community. And because I'm a firm believer in the tide rises all ships. And I think having a collective is really powerful, and it's a powerful tool when you don't have a lot of financial resources.
Playlists are not real collectives.
They aren't.
They seem more collaborative than.
Or they're just completely commercial, like they're paid for. If you have enough money, you can get on the big playlists.
How is that encouraging or discouraging?
It's very discouraging because it's basically payola 2020. 2021 style, like back in the day when the majors used to pay people to phone radio stations and request music. Like that's how the
consider
Beatles.
this to be a problem.
Well, it's artificial.
Let's go back to the real. All right, I want to go all the way back again now. I want to jump back because with Nocturnal, when you were doing the website, you were covering stuff that was super real. There was nothing virtual. People were really getting together.
Yeah.
Jumping around into various venues. What was happening? What were you doing?
Like what my involvement in the scene at that time? Or
Yeah,
what do you mean?
because I mean, like here we are. We went from you seeing the records being played for the first time and going through the bins and
falling in love with the whole
and
process.
you fell in love with music and you
Yes.
started to dabble with DJing, but you also did Nocturnal, which was big in the scene. Like and as far as I recall, besides Tribe,
no, we were
and
the
Pure Rave.
We were the biggest online brand for a good 9 years.
Okay, so this process, while you were doing it, like you were doing almost every coverage. You were from parties.
Yeah, but
artist
because,
spotlights, releases.
Because like the music side was so important to me, I never wanted I wanted the site to be like an actual magazine. So it wasn't just about pictures and the social side of it. That being important though, that's a way to draw people in. But once you get them in, our mantra and my goal was always to educate about what they were actually hearing. And especially then, you couldn't hold up your phone and Shazam the hotness that the DJ was playing, right? Unless you knew someone that you could ask something to find out, like, what was this song? What was this? So I always looked at
And even then, there wasn't a guarantee.
and it wasn't a guarantee, or how many times you get, the track that goes da 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 da, right? Like, how many times did you have someone ask you, what is the song?
I've lost count of how many times I've done it myself.
And you're like, I don't know, I have like 30 of them. That's like, give me something. But yeah, we always tried to educate and let people know what was going on, because it comes back to the artists, it comes back to the labels that were releasing this awesome stuff that was giving us these experiences, these shared experiences, and those people deserve recognition for their craft and for their art. So like, that was the biggest thing, and being someone who, because I came at it from a DJing perspective, I wanted people to know what they were hearing, because it was important, because without those records I'm not as good a DJ, because I don't have the things to play.
This is early playlisting.
It is. I mean, charts were like the original playlist, right? Like, we used to have a top 50, and then it became a top 100 that we updated weekly. And it was one of the most revered charts in the world, actually, at the time, that people wanted to be on. And it gave me such a... I think part of it is the respect that we showed the music side of it. It opened a lot of doors for us, and it allowed me to connect with a lot of very influential people in the industry that subsequently, when I decided to get into the making side of music, catapulted us way faster than we had any right of doing, because we had built those relationships, and we built those relationships on respect and being honest. If we were going to knock something, it was always constructive. We didn't write things that were like the scathing slam to like create controversy and with no foundation. We'd constructively critique, and I always made sure the reviewers that we hired wrote constructive criticism when they wrote negative reviews. And I think that garnered us a lot of respect in the industry that has since spilled over into me on the other side of the chain, where we're making things as opposed to guiding people to find the good stuff.
How long did Nocturnal run for?
We started it in 1996, and I guess formally closed in 2011.
And then when did Phoenix start?
Phoenix is now 7 years old, so we'll do 2013.
So you got about a 2-year break in between the website, kind of
where I
stopping.
ran another label. So I had another label. So after I stopped the magazine, I started. My first label was called 44th and Filth, but I had a partner in that label, and we actually were doing some good stuff, and we were growing quite nicely. But speaking for him, he really didn't like the business side of running labels and the grind and what you had to do to make it happen. And it was something that I think inevitably he just decided that he didn't want to do that anymore. But, it was a partnership, and like anything else, like, he didn't want the brand to continue, and it was half his, so that was his right. I had to respect that. So that's sort of where Phoenix got its name. Right?
From the ashes.
Rising from the ashes. The new flame.
So at the beginning of this, when I was trying to say that you started on the ground level, I mean, I can relate to this. I knew no one when I started this thing. I had no ins, or there was nothing. So I mean, like, I feel like you've had your hand on the pulse of things that were going on, and doing the behind the scenes stuff has been like your flavor. Like, it's been a super strength for you to get from the website, making it a super strong presence and something that was relevant to the scene, the photography, the videos, then leading it. I mean, this is an all tech based throughout all of it. What was happening?
But tech, just like ahead of the curve. Like, I mean, it's doing all the stuff you do now, but it's like, things like Instagram. Everyone couldn't just share their photos online, right? So, but we were smart enough and learned how to do web programming to build things so that we could, and then got talented photographers. Myself, I did a lot of photography myself, but again, that's just the artist side of me coming out. But also I hired and worked with a lot of amazing photographers over the years, and just like, but again, I always strove to have the bar of quality world class, because I was like, why not? You know, I was fortunate. I met a lot of talented people on the way, but why don't they deserve to have their work shown at that level? And capable of doing that. And it's like we just had the means to do it because we were nerdy enough to figure out how to write HTML at the time.
How is Phoenix during the pandemic?
Good. I honestly I can't complain because a lot of people have had their worlds turned completely upside down, and we've been really lucky that for the most part we've been really steady. We've had some ups and downs, as you do. You know, working in the music business is a really tough thing. It is not for the faint of heart. You gotta be all in, or it ain't gonna work. And you gotta have pretty thick skin, because sometimes it gets pretty shitty. And but the highs are so good, and you know, as long as the highs are outweighing the lows, you're doing something right. So
I think there's a lot of people that are really happy that you've stuck to your guns.
Yeah,
and the vision and seen it through, because we're talking about decades worth of effort here.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate you saying that, because really it is a lifelong passion. But I feel like the best things come out from the things you care about. You know, there's always I've had people along the way say, "Oh, you should do this. You know, this would make you more money, or would get you higher up the food chain faster and quicker." But I never wanted to do something that I didn't believe in. I know it sounds kind of cheesy, but it's true. Like, we're doing the thing that I like. Phoenix is an ego project of what I care the most about. But what I care most about is house music, and I believe that you can have a sustainable career doing this form of art. You can. There are people who are doing that. So why couldn't it be me? And I just feel like if I'm always coming at it from a place of passion and a place to where I care and I believe in it, we're gonna get there at the end. There'll be some hiccups. It won't always be easy. Sometimes we'll make missteps, but overall, I truly believe that your best work comes out of something that you genuinely love.
I'm looking forward to it. I know that on Utility Room we have played tons of the Phoenix Black stuff.
Yes, thank you for that.
Yeah, you're totally thank you for that. I really appreciate it. Listen, this has been a totally amazing episode. Andy Reid here with us here in the Utility Room. I've had an amazing time tonight, not only listening to you, as well listening to your stories on how everything came to be. We're loving you.
I appreciate you having me, and this is a great thing. And to all the people out there who are streaming and doing amazing stuff like this, keep doing it, because we need it. We need it now more than ever.
Listen, before we punch out and say goodbye to everybody for the evening, is there something that you need to plug that we need to hear? Where do we find you?
What do you say?
How do we hear you? Where do we go? What's your favorite space? And also, what is a top track that you know that you've got coming that people need to be on the lookout for?
All right, that's a big long list, but here we go.
I've got some lists for you.
Here's the advertising, the marketing spiel, corporate spiel. All socials, Phoenix Music Inc. INC is where you can find us, except Snapchat, because I can't figure it out because I'm too old. You know, our music for the 3 labels, Phoenix Music, Phoenix Soul, and Phoenix Black, which is PHXBLK, are available on all the top download sites. TrackSource is our preferred destination, and Beatport, because they are the best way of supporting true independent artists and labels. But of course, we're available on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, etc., Amazon MP3, etc., etc., etc. And what we got coming up? Let's see. We got a couple of amazing records right now that are blowing up the charts. We have a brand new version of the iconic Chuck Roberts vocal, Jack Had a Groove, done with HP Vince out of Holland. That is a legit, fully real thing. We were so gracious to have Chuck involved in the project. And that is blowing up TrackSource right now. It's going to be dropping on Beatport tomorrow, Friday. So you can grab that. We have my latest thing is a remix of an amazing UK artist, Risk Assessment. Track's called "Hurt Me," which just came out
like
last
that music
week.
for Risk Assessment's dope.
Played it tonight. Yeah, Risk Assessment. That Glenn is fucking awesome, and the track is amazing. So my remix is out, which is in the house charts on TrackSource now, and then we also on the packet amazing version by Seb Jr., who's like one of the best deep house producers in the world. And then dropping on pre-order tomorrow on Friday on all platforms, we have our Best of 2020 Phoenix Music compilation, which is 60 of our top releases from the year, from all 3 labels, all into one super compilation. So you can basically buy our entire year all in one shot for a very affordable price.
Yes, my man.
And for those who like the DJ mixes, we got 3 DJ mixes done by myself. One sort of main room house, one terrace deep vibes, and one warehouse underground grooves, which is probably yours. A lot of Phoenix Black on the warehouse side of things. And then, what do we got? Out today.
Good grief, man.
It's nonstop. We got an amazing track from a Spanish artist named Juarez called Kibu on Phoenix. It's fire. Like, I played that tonight. A Latin, like, Pasilda vibe. Like, just amazing record. And super stoked on that one. It's already doing great. And it's been out for, like, 6 hours or whatever. So happy about that. And then, personally, I have a release with HP Vince and Divine on Sima Black that drops next week called Hooked on Your Love, which will be my last single for the year, which is great. I'm super excited about that. And then it's a break, and then into 2021. And we got a lot of bullets lined up, some big names coming as always. Like, I really make an effort to scour the hottest producers in-house and out there and get them to do stuff for the label, and a lot of them graciously do it. So I guess I'm good at persuading them. And so we got some amazing stuff lined up. And then for me, my own stuff, I got a ton of original material and collaborations, doing some new stuff with KPD and Johan S. AP Vince and I are going to do another record.
This list is out of control,
I'm
man.
sure we're doing Hatiris
Losing light.
and Vincent Kerr and I always are conspiring on new things. And, I'm doing some stuff with Adam K and on and on and on and on. I'm doing a track with Per QX and Johan S. And
maybe the busiest man in house music in Canada, yeah?
Yeah.
Andy Reid?
Hey, man, this is what you got to do. This is 2021. You want to know what it takes to work full-time in the music business? That.
This is it.
Everything all the time. No stop. 100% all the time. You got to want it. And if you don't want it, someone else is going to want it, and they're going to get it.
I want to hug you. I want to give you.
Hugs.
I do. I want to give you a giant virtual hug. Signing off. My name is Jello. You guys are absolutely fucking amazing. Thanks a lot for tuning in with us tonight. Blocking the camera and it's so dark.
And I didn't even say. Follow me at DJ Andy Reid on all socials. Didn't even plug myself. Plug my labels. You'll find me. I'm not hard to find.
No, okay.
And I'm not the football coach of the Kansas City Chiefs. I've heard that joke.
Oh, I haven't heard that.
Yeah, once or twice.
It's decades in. All right, hey, Kung Fu, click the stop and the stop on the 2 buttons. You guys, peace out. Thank you very much.